Hey friends, this is Katya, the vegan powerlifter, and we are going to talk about the Mr. America powerlifting meet that happened this past weekend. I stayed in the 1,000-pound total club. Thank you, Shelly, for a t-shirt. And my friend Shelly also sent me this beautiful vegan V with a leaf necklace. I'm obsessed. Yeah, the shirt is really big, Shelly. It like fits in the lats, you know what I mean? But here it's like really loose. So why is it? I don't know. I guess it's made for an average American person who has a belly bigger than mine. Well, that flatters my body dysmorphia. Anyways, let's talk about the meat. So 1,005 pounds was my total. It is not my best total. 1,025 pounds is my best total from April this year, 2024. If you want to see the meet recap for that meet, where I won Best Lifter at the North Carolina States Championship, you can check that video out. It was a really fun meet. I surprised myself with a total, and I went really aggressive. My coach and I planned to go aggressive as well. So if you know my style, I don't try to go 9 for 9 usually. I usually try to go confident opener, then like a solid PR attempt, but likely PR attempt on a second attempt. And then the third one is just like YOLO, whatever I want to do, which sometimes I get, sometimes I don't get it. Given so many changes in my personal life and all of the traveling and parents being sick and my knee and hip not feeling great this summer, I lowered my squat. So my squat was 170 kilos, which my last meet was 180. So people who know me, they'd be like, yeah, that's, why, why would you go so aggressively like in your past meet? I did not know I could do it. And this time around, I also didn't know I could do it, but I had more doubts. So I didn't get my second squat, which was also 170. And then I got it on the third attempt. So it is 370 pounds, 370 divided by 2.24. No. Okay, then it must have been 375. Yeah, 375 pounds, 170 kilos. I think that's the number. Don't quote me on the numbers. They loaded the bar with pounds, so I have no fucking idea what was on the bar. I don't know. It was the most confusing thing. Like I had to stand there with a calculator and convert everything to kilograms. But we're gonna go complain about the things I didn't like probably closer to the end of the video. So if you wanna rant, you can scroll towards the end. I'm gonna talk about the nice things first and about my numbers. Okay, bench was 210 pounds, which is 95 kilos. Not my most impressive bench, but it's a confident bench. And then I think I tried like 215 or 220 and didn't get it. So I'm not upset about that. After the squat bar, my pec was kind of just off. So yeah, if you are wondering what the hell this is a kinesiologic tape. So thank you, Sarah Cashtan from my team, who is a doctor, and she knows how to apply K-tape. So she applied it the day after the competition, and it helps. So what it does is it kind of pulls my shoulder around and out, instead of it being this way. Because the squat bar super opens your chest. I think my muscles in the front of the shoulder, which there are a lot of, there's probably pec minor that is angry. Yeah, Sarah felt it up and said pec minor is angry. Pec major, maybe like serratus and other things, but I don't want to poke at it. I don't care. I'm just going to let it be, not lift, ice it, keep the K-tape on, and it's going to be fine. So anyways, my bench was probably lower because of that. And it's fine. It's totally fine. I've only done 100 kilos touch and go right after the meet in April. So, yeah, my former coach, Alexi, really wanted for me to break 100 kilos, and I just couldn't. So I tried to bench using more chest this summer. I hired a different coach. I wanted to learn his approach. We changed some minor things, tweaked some things about squat stance and deadlift stance. But the main learning curve was the bench. So if you watch the video on the Vegan Powerlifter channel, which is in Russian, you will see that I have been lifting, trying to bring my elbows out and bring my, so usually I keep my elbows more tucked in, and then my pinky goes into the bar. I'm like trying to bend the bar. And for most women, especially women that are at age, like I'm 32, I'm not like a geriatric lifter, but I'm at age. That is, I'm not 18. It's harder for me to get more mobility, right? The older you are, the harder it is for you to get mobility. So for more women who are my age or older, I think this approach, more triceps focused bench with the pinkies pushing into the bar and kind of bending the bar, works better. What I tried to learn is the Japanese grip and the elbows flared out so I could use more chest. But the problem is at the bottom, my chest would still sink because I couldn't mobilize that enough. And that would kill my bench. That would make my pauses on the chest weak. And you do need to pause in competition. So it is what it is. We trained bench using more chest and flare. I ended up switching back to the triceps bench last month when I came to the States, and I tried both and figured out my triceps bench is still more comfortable and still stronger. And I don't have any gym bros, gym girls who could stretch me on a bench. So I would just sit on the floor and open my chest like this on the bench, and somebody would push on my shoulders. I can't do that alone. I wouldn't ask like a stranger to do this because you have to be like really up in the person's face. So yeah, I was stretching myself, but I like to use somebody else to stretch thoracic and shoulders specifically. So I couldn't do that. And switching your bench technique a month out of the meet is a really dumb thing to do. But I was like, if it's the same and I can't stretch to bench with a flare, just screw it. I'll bench triceps. And okay, we didn't grow triceps bench because we were practicing the other style, hoping I would be more productive with that. And I wasn't. I'm really happy I've tried it, but that's why the bench stayed the same compared to last meet. So yeah, competition bench stayed the same. Great. What about deadlift? Deadlift, they use the deadlift bar. And I hate the deadlift bar, but I hate it less than the squat bar because squat bar pushes my shoulders down, opens the chest, pulls everything here, and then it's hard for me to bench. Deadlift bar is only annoying because it takes forever to lift the damn thing off the ground. You pull and you pull and you pull, and it starts lifting and bending and lifting and bending. You're like, when are the plates going to leave the ground? Can we please just already be in the air? No. So yeah, if you are a smaller lifter, if you don't lift a lot of weight, you might not notice it. But if you lift like 3+ plates, then you will notice it. You will definitely notice that the bar has a huge whip. And this is probably the first time, this prep was the first time in my life that I started failing on deadlift, on sumo deadlift at the floor when the bar leaves the ground. I just wouldn't break ground because my hip flexors, like right here, my hip flexors would just be killing me, and they would be engaging, and they're used to a shorter time deadlift, so a shorter time under tension. So when I'm with such a big load, I would already lock out, and the issues for me would be lockout. You know, it would be lower back, mid back, and glutes. This wasn't the issue at all, so I'm glad we fixed it. So okay, we talked about what we did with my bench. Let's talk about what we did with the deadlift. So I hired a new coach. His name is also Alexi. How is every coach of mine named Alexi? Anyways, I still work with Alexi Bachir. If you guys want to work with him and hire him, I still love him, and I'm actually coming back to train with him. But you can click the link in the corner and you can apply for coaching with Alexi. With my old coach Alexi. So my new coach Alexi, who I've trained with this summer, he lives in my city, in Voronezh, in Russia. And that's the reason why I switched, is because I wanted for somebody to give me instant feedback, and I wanted to learn whatever he had to teach me. You know, I think learning from as many coaches as you can, as long as they're legit, is a good thing. But I usually learn something and then go back to the the old coach Alexi, because we're just a good fit. I don't know, we vibe, and I know he writes me the most excellent programs. So I don't have to like try a lot of things. My big ADHD energy wants to just go try bench with a flare and deadlift like this and squat like that. But I need to stop monkeying around and just do the program and trust the process. And because I'm impatient, I go try a thing and I'm not as productive after I try a thing, but at least I'm satisfied that, okay, I've tried it and I know it wasn't a good fit. Alexei Bahirev knows that it would not have been productive, which is why he writes what he writes. And then when I want to try a thing, he's like, calm down, just do what is written. So yeah, sorry, I admit you were right. And I'm happy that I've learned new things, but in the end, your programs are the best. I admit that. Anyways, deadlift. So with the temporary coach Alexi, with the summer coach Alexi, what we did was we turned my toes in. So my toes were like this before, because I'm pretty flexible in the hips. My knees don't really cave in when I deadlift with almost like a ballerina stance, almost plate to plate. Yeah, pretty much plate to plate. I have the widest sumo and the most turned out toes. The summer coach Alexi turned my feet in a little bit, so that gave me like, I don't know, 2 inches from plate to toe, which I don't really expect to drop my barbell on the pinkies, but that eliminates the potential risk of injury. So that change eliminates the risk of injury and it gives me more stability. I thought it was kind of BS at first, and then I tried it, and yeah, that did work. So narrowing my stance doesn't work for me. I'm lanky. I have long legs. I have long arms, which is also why I thought benching into chest with a flare than into the triceps would be easier, because I'm very lanky. But you also need mobility for that. I don't have mobility in thoracic. I have all of the mobility in the hips. So sumo is great. Toes in gave me more stability. It worked out. I deadlifted 420 pounds, which is 190. So that matched my deadlift PR from the spring. I wanted to break 200, but I couldn't break 200 at the gym when we were practicing. And the next attempt, I tried 195 and couldn't do it. I tried 430. So I was probably just tired at the meet and yeah, didn't perform my best. But it will be there next year. My meet total was still larger than last year at Mr. America. It was 20 pounds more, which I think for a person of my experience and my size is a decent add. For a natural person, that's a decent add. I'm staying at the same body weight and adding half as many pounds on the barbell each year. So I would add 100 pounds first year, 50 pounds next year. It's like 20 pounds this year. So it's very sad. I'm gonna be so sad if I add 10 pounds next year. Plant Built is gonna stop inviting me. No, I'm kidding. So anyways, it was an okay meet overall. I'm glad I failed at the floor with the deadlift, because I didn't do this kind of shaky thing at the top when I pulled it all the way up and just couldn't lock out. It's the worst feeling. I second Michelle on that. Michelle failed like that on her third deadlift, and girl, I see you. It sucks to fail at the very top when you can't lock out, and I have been failing like that and not being able to lock out for years. So finally my lower back and my ass is strong enough. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about squat. So squat, we brought my feet in a little bit because I don't know why my hip was just getting angry at life. So I have partial meniscus removal on my right knee, and my left hip was like getting angry during the deadlift mainly. It's been getting angry at me randomly like throughout the last 2 years. Just every once in a while, if I get on my knees and like paint the baseboard, my knee gets angry at me, which is understandable. There's a part of meniscus that's absent and some of it is cracked. Got it. The hip, I don't know what's up with the hip. No idea. But if I turn my hips out and my toes are out because I'm sumo, it hurts. Yes, I can sumo, but it wasn't the most comfortable. Squatting in the hole, like all June, all May, it was torture. And I can't say that it was right after the last meet or because of it. Like at the meet, everything was fine. A couple of weeks, we rested, we started a new phase, everything was fine. So I don't know what it is. Sometimes your body can just get angry at you for no reason at all. Or maybe there are reasons they're not connected to like specific things that you do, like specific lifting or specific like walking too much or specific like, I don't know, Slav squatting, ass to grass and painting the baseboard. I don't think it's any of those things in particular. So I'm not going to try to like find a reason. I'm very tired of trying to find a reason why my hip was angry. But I figured out that if we bring my squat stance a little bit in, I am able to hit depth with less pain. That was May, that was June. Then pain went away completely by August. And I could spread my legs for bench and have any stance. I could deadlift any stance, toes turned in, turned out. So yeah, I would say if you have any kind of hip pain, mess with your stance. Bring your feet in, bring them out, turn your toes in, turn them out. Don't make drastic changes. Make one change and for a couple of weeks, observe how your body behaves and write down how you feel after your lift and write down what you feel when it hurts, how it hurts, what did you do right before. So yeah, I think bringing my feet in could have dropped my squat a little bit. I also took a break from squatting for like 2 months because it was just hurting so badly and I didn't want to mess up the knee or the hip. Yeah. But overall, we're still maintaining about the same numbers, which is good. So you see athletes who like get hurt and then their deadlift drops into like half, their squat drops into like half. Like there was a dude at our meet who competed and he like opened for deadlifts or for squats. I don't remember for what, but he got hurt. So his bench was great, but like his total was the same as mine, because he got injured and I don't want to be that person. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about things that I liked about the competition. Of course, being with the team. I want to give a huge shout out to all my teammates and Ryan Still specifically, who talked me into dropping my numbers and not doing what my coach prescribed, which was the normal kind of Russian, let's go balls to the wall aggressive. He talked me into dropping my numbers a little bit, and that gave me more confidence in actually performing well and hitting more attempts than I would have. So thanks, Ryan. I want to say thanks to all the girls, Sarah and Brittany and Michelle. It was awesome to lift with all of y'all. It's an honor. Of course, Nick Squires destroyed it. He should have won Best Lifter. In my eyes, he won Best Lifter. So it's like last year they forgot to give me medals for whatever I signed up for. And there were 4 women competing in open, so I didn't get like female Best Lifter, and there was only one Best Lifter. This year, oh boy. Okay, we're getting into the rant. Cool. We're getting to the rant early. We're gonna mix up the negative and the positive here. So there were not a lot of competitors, and I read the organization rule book, which was APA Powerlifting. It was one of the oldest powerlifting federations in the country. Apparently, they're super old school. They use a monolift and pound plates for some reason. They said they're calibrated. I didn't check. I trust them. But there were tested divisions, untested, raw, classic raw, which is knee wraps instead of knee sleeves. That's the only difference. And equipped. Nobody signed up for equipped. There's one dude who signed up for untested and the same one dude who signed up for classic raw. So he could have been using performance enhancing drugs. People who sign up for untested usually do, because otherwise why would you sign up for untested? And he was using knee wraps and he won Best Lifter. against natural, raw people? Against Nick? Why? I'm upset at that. The same as I was upset for them forgetting to give me my deadlift only and bench only medals last year. Oh, I signed up for deadlift only and bench only and push pull this year, by the way. And they announced it, but they gave me one medal. I already packed it. I'm not going to show it to you, but it looks okay. It's not very worth seeing, honestly. I think you can find a post on my Instagram where I'm like holding a medal somewhere, but yeah, it's an okay medal. Anyways, you can't compare tested and untested and wrapped knee reps versus raw and award one best lifter among all of those people, even if you do it by GL or by dots or by whatever the Schwarzmore, I don't know, unicorn score that you are using. I don't think it's good sportsmanship. And the logic was that it was a small meet. So if it's a small meet, then I guess we just mash everybody together. Cool, why not? The other concern of mine was there was no drug testing. And Team Plantbuilt Vegan Strong competes only in tested events. That is the point that we're trying to make, is that plants have the best quality protein for your performance, for recovery, for the planet, for your health, and of course for the animals. Plants have the best protein. We all know it. We are showing it. And we want to show it in fair competition against other tested lifters, because none of us use performance enhancing drugs. And we want for that to be apparent, because when people see we're that strong, they either write some nasty comments that are like irrelevant, and half of the comments would be, they're on steroids, they could be vegan, but steroids are vegan. Ah! And we're like, yeah, so you can check the meets that we've competed in, they're all tested. We all pee in a cup. We didn't pee in a cup at the powerlifting meet, and I was very upset at that. I asked the organizer, I wanted to go to the bathroom after the competition, and I was like, hey, I really need to pee, so why don't we go test now? So I don't have to like drink 3 bottles of water and you don't have to wait for me. And he said, you're fine. I checked your previous scores and you're not very far off, so you must be natural. I know people who suck and they still use drugs. I know people who go up and down, fluctuating their total. If I didn't progress as much to be suspected to be on drugs, doesn't mean I'm not on drugs. I think that's the general kind of logic that should go at every meet. And I know it's not USAPL, but if you claim this meet is drug tested, you must drug test your lifters. That's my thought. And if this meet didn't have enough people signed up, there were 28 people registered. I think per the rule book, if there are more than 25 people, they must drug test. Less people showed up because of the hurricane situation. People got stuck in Florida and in Asheville. So I guess they could say, okay, less people showed up and it just wasn't worth drug testing. Because in the US, the organizer in the organization that puts the meet together pays for the drug test. It's not the athlete. In Russia, the athlete pays for the drug test, which is really weird, but yeah, that's how it goes. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah. In the APA rulebook, it also says if the lifter requests drug test, the organizer must perform it, otherwise they're banned for 12 months. And again, they can say it's a small meet and it wasn't worth it, but I did request it, and I'm sure our captain did. Anyways, the rest of the folks. So to the good news from the sad news. We have a new guy, Jerry, who I think is a straight edge vegan. He competed and did really well. And them, pretty much everybody, they brought their totals up. And them did great. Daniel Austin complains that it wasn't his best, but Daniel, I think you still lifted amazing. Yes, it's not the nationals. The stakes are not as high, but yeah, Nick added like 60 pounds to his total, which is insane because he tore his biceps last year. Who else was there? I'm going to check my socials to see who else was there. I found it. This is the team. Yeah. So we have Nick and them. I already told you about them. You know, Daniel from like a lot of plant-built vegan strong past meets, and Vinny is a new person. So he competed in a meet with us last year. So if you watch the live stream, you'll see that he was not wearing the team uniform last year. But he is this year because after he competed, we invited him to take a group photo together because he's also a strong vegan. I think he's a straight edge vegan, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he got invited to the team, which I'm really happy about because he is really strong. So awesome. We went to Tony Bologna's after. That was really fun. We ate an obnoxious amount of pizza. And as you can see, Ryan, our team captain, is here. He was not competing because he just had a surgery. But hopefully he'll recover and be more strong, being bionic with some steel in his body. And that is a full team. If I can get the reflection out. Yes. No. Anyways, I will try to overlay the picture to this video. I did miss the diner. We did not go to the diner. Like half of the team went, but kettlebellers were competing Sunday, so I didn't want to miss that. And it was really fun. Unfortunately, strongman and kettlebell were going at the same time as us, and so was bodybuilding prejudging. I wish it was a different time, so when I was competing, I didn't have to like run around and try to get a sneak peek of what the other sports are doing. I had to stay focused on my thing, and I want to be more focused on my own lifting and then chill and focus on other people's lifting and cheering for my teammates. So not very convenient that couldn't really do that this year. We all went to see bodybuilding finals after dinner. That was amazing. We had an all-girls team this year. So Shelly, WNBF Pro, Vegan WNBF Pro on Instagram, who gave me all of this nice little swag. She competed in women's physique. She didn't place as well as we'd hoped for. I think she was super ready, but like neither did most of our bodybuilders for some reason. Diane competed in wellness, came in, I think 5th. She was like ready to win this. Honestly, I thought she would be 1st or 2nd, but you never know. Bodybuilding is more subjective than powerlifting. And people try to convince me otherwise, but I'm like, no, it's either depth or it's not. And you can appeal it if you think one red light was off, on the bench. Like nobody can give you a longer pause if your bar was stationary. And so you can go and redo your attempt. Deadlift, same thing. You locked it out, you didn't lock it out. I mean, yes, there can be some fluctuations, but there's 3 judges who just judge independent from each other. For bodybuilding, I guess it can matter more who coaches who knows who, just like in any sport, but I think bodybuilding is like the most subjective, right? It's not like you jumped over a hurdle, you didn't, or you beat somebody while running, sprinting, or you didn't, or you lifted the weight or you didn't. It's not as apparent. And of course, posing plays a huge role in that. In powerlifting, we don't have to pose. We have to just finish a lift. Evelyn flew from Brazil and she won her Bikini Pro card, which is amazing. So we were hoping she would win big, so it was worth it for her to fly, and it was. Alice, the Vegan Proteins Alice, she did really well, but bikini was a really tight competition this year. So she won her pro card already, but she did not place very high. What else? Of course, we had Maddie. Maddie won the Yorton Cup, so she won the OCB best, most renowned prize in natural bodybuilding, and she crushed it this year. I think she got 2nd or 3rd, and yeah, all figure was They came in close. They looked amazing. Kettlebell team. Jen absolutely crushed it. She came from Canada, and I will show you. She's a monster. Yeah, that's Jen. And she doubled the reps from the guys who were doing the same weight. I don't know how. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, stuff she does to work out. And she used to be obese, which is crazy. So now she's one of the best girivichkas in Canada. So yeah, that's what they do. Of course, this is a speed up. I do have a long recording of their kettlebell team against the team, so I might post that. I have way too much stuff to do to edit videos right now, but I'm going to post this quick recap and keep sharing on my Instagram story who won what. Oh gosh, this is Jen's Insta. Who posted like all of us? Maybe it was Jerry. Yes. So Jerry posted, that powerlifters won, strongman won. Yeah, it's amazing. We are being featured in like all kinds of plant-based medias. If you guys know any reporters or folks who work in press, please let me know. Send me a message so I can forward to our team directors, because we are trying to get the fact that the vegan team won 55 medals, 48 of which were gold at a non-vegan competition. We're trying to get this fact out so people know that plants have the best protein for optimal performance and recovery and the planet and your health. Definitely, plants have all the protein you need. I mean, you already know that, but you might want to share this video with a person who doesn't know that yet. And I will continue posting the videos as I get to them on YouTube and on Insta. I will post the high quality footage that we got from our filming crew as soon as we get it. And I didn't really discuss strongman here because I really want to discuss them in depth. But in short, we had the most killer strongman team we've ever had, the most killer kettlebell and strongman team. They were huge. They were awesome. CrossFitters competed in Tampa Bay Fit Fest. I wasn't there. Nobody was there. They competed separately because there was no CrossFit at Mr. America this year. They crushed it. Also, we'll have to make a separate video about them. But yeah, strongman, Angeline, the France's strongest woman 3 times, she basically won by a huge margin, just like last year. Veronique Comer was at the Canadian Nationals for strongmen this year, so she wasn't with us. But she got second, I think, at the Nationals, which is insane. I wish she was with us, but she's doing better for veganism and for the message by competing there at the Nationals, even though it's kind of lonely to compete alone. So team was always more fun. Ray crushed it. Melissa crushed it. Rick and the vegan Hercules, Brady, crushed it. So our strongman team, lifted cars and Atlas steel stones over the bar and did a yoke. Yeah, it was nuts. And the kettlebell team, yeah, I think Jen and Steve blew everybody out of the water. But Jen's mom, who was like, I don't know how old she is, but she should be more than 50. She should be like 60-ish. I don't know for sure. But I can't imagine my mother coming there and competing powerlifting with me. Jen brought her mom just to watch, and her mom trained as well because she might as well compete if her daughter is there. So she trained a little bit and blew everybody out of the water. That was amazing. Justin is a multiple sports athlete. He competed bodybuilding. I'm pretty sure he does CrossFit, but don't quote me on that. He competed kettlebell this year. Damn. I know that we missed Cody and Kelly and her son were going to join, but they couldn't. They were going to join last year. They were our original kettlebellers from 3 years ago. So there wasn't no kettlebell at the time. Plantbuilt basically made kettlebell happen at Mr. America because our team was a huge part of the event, and kettlebell is not as popular of a sport as powerlifting or strongman or bodybuilding. Nothing is as popular as bodybuilding, but kettlebell was epic this year. Anyways, I gotta go. I know this is not a full recap. I've probably missed some details. I've probably missed some people, but I do want to thank Susan Peters for making this happen. I do want to thank Giacomo, Marchesa, and Nadine Taylor for taking care of us, Athena for taking care of the social media, and all the volunteers. I had a little emotional breakdown after I drove and got into Atlantic City. It's been quite a lonely month trying to get all the stuff here together and going through all the personal life changes, but it really made me feel welcomed, and I feel like that's why I had this emotional moment, is because like I have my shit together, but if you've like really tried to buckle it up and have your shit together extra because you have to manage so many things and so many other people, it is exhausting. And I didn't realize, and I didn't have time for therapy this past month either. So that's the result. Do therapy, less emotional breakdowns. Going to start in 2 weeks, and I'm very, very excited because I do need this. I do need a vent, and not to random people after I've had a beer. I do need to do this to like an actual professional. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it, and I'm just gonna upload this as it is and make a more cohesive recap about every sport when I have a moment. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.